Have you ever looked at a Spanish sentence and thought, wait, why is it tuve and not tení? If the answer is yes, you are not alone. Irregular verbs in the past tense can be confusing, but today I'll help you master them with some hacks, a fun dialogue, and a bit of practice. Want to take your Spanish learning to the next level? You are in luck because I've created a free ebook filled with easy to follow lessons, essential vocabulary, and fascinating cultural insights. Just click the link in the description to download it. Sign up with your name and email and I'll send it straight to your inbox. Hello everyone and welcome back to Fluency Rocks. I'm Carolina, your Spanish teacher from Colombia. Today we are tackling a tricky but super useful topic. So without further ado, let's dive in. To start our journey, we are focusing on the verb tener, to have. Mastering tener is a smart move as its past tense conjugations offer a valuable set of endings that we can use with many other irregular verbs. In this table, you can appreciate the underlined endings that are transferable to other verbs in the preterite indefinite. Make sure you take a screenshot of this table. One of those verbs that share its endings in the past with tener is estar, to be. In fact, as you can see in this table, all you have to do is add es at the beginning of all conjugations and that's it. Now, let's see other verbs that also share the endings of tener when conjugated in the preterite indefinite. In this table, we have the pronouns, the endings, and the verbs. We have venir, to come, vine, viniste, vino, and so on. Saber, to know a fact or a skill. Andar, to walk, to go around. Poner, to put. And we have HACER, to do, to make. Hice, hiciste, hizo, etc. But notice that in the case of HACER, in the third person singular, the C changes to Z, because if we keep the C, then it would sound ico instead of hizo. Okay, here we have more verbs that share the endings with tener in the preterite indefinite. Poder, meaning can, be able. Querer, to want. Caber, to fit. And satisfacer, to satisfy. This one acts like hacer for the irregular stem. The C changes to Z. The following group of verbs also share the endings of tener. However, there's a twist. The third person plural ending is eron, not hieron. This is a common exception within this group. Also, as you can see in the table, all these verbs gain a J in the stem. So, we have DECIR, dije, dijiste, dijeron, traer, traje, trajiste, trajeron, and the same goes for the rest. The verbs ser, to be, and ir, to go, are conjugated the same way in the preterite indefinite. So it's good to learn them together. So we have yo fui, tú fuiste, usted, ella, él fue, and so on. Dar, to give, and ver, to see, have basically the regular endings of er and ir verbs in the preterite indefinite, without the tilde, the stress mark. So even though dar is an ar verb, it still has this conjugation as you can see in the table. Compound verbs in Spanish are those verbs formed by adding a prefix to a simpler existing verb. The prefix changes or adds to the original meaning of the base verb. For example, we have the verb decir, to say, which is a simple verb. But if we add the prefix pre, it becomes predecir, which means to predict. This means that compound verbs based on the irregular verbs inherit the same irregularities, Let's illustrate this with some examples. In this table, we can see the verb poner, to put, and its conjugations and some compound verbs derived from it. Let's see what they mean. Oponer, to oppose. Disponer usually means to arrange, to prepare, or to make available. It can also mean to command or to decide in formal contexts. Exponer, to expose. Proponer, to propose. Imponer, to impose. Descomponer, to decompose. Here we have the verb tener, to have, and its derived compound verbs. Detener, to detain. Mantener, to keep, to maintain. Obtener, to obtain, to get. Retener, to retain. Contener, to contain, or to repress or restrain the movement or impulse of a body. Sostener, to sustain. To hold something firm, to support, usually financially. And entretener, to entertain. Now, let's look at decir, to say, and its derived compound verbs. Maldecir, to curse, to swear. Predecir, to predict. Contradecir, to contradict. Next, we have the verb venir, to come, and some compound verbs derived from it. Intervenir, to intervene, to take part. Convenir, to be advisable, to agree on something. Prevenir, to prevent, to warn. And last but not least, we have the verb hacer, to do, to make, and some compound verbs derived from it. Deshacer, to undo, to melt, to mess up. Rehacer, to redo, to rebuild. Satisfacer, to satisfy. This verb is actually a compound of hacer. You might notice that F in satisfacer, while hacer has an H. That F is a little hint of how hacer used to be spelled and pronounced facer. It's an interesting piece of history preserved right in the verb itself. Wondering how you can support this channel and what I do? It's really easy. You can show your support buying me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. Your support shows you value my work highly. Alright, time to see the irregular Spanish verbs in the past in action. The following dialogue shows you exactly how native speakers use them with different conjugations. Ready to dive in? Let's go! Recordando anécdotas familiares. Hola Pablo, ¿cómo estuvo la reunión familiar el fin de semana? Hola Silvana, estuvo muy buena, gracias. Fue increíble. Hicimos una cena en la casa de mi tío Andrés. ¿Lo recuerdas? Claro que sí, él siempre hace buenas reuniones. ¿Y qué hicieron de diferente este año? Bueno, esta vez estuvo mi prima Ana, que vino de Chile. Ella propuso que cada uno contara una anécdota divertida de la familia. ¡Qué buena idea! Me hubiera encantado estar allí. Sí, pudimos compartir muchísimas cosas. Mi tío Luis dijo que una vez, cuando era niño, anduvo toda la tarde buscando un tesoro que puso mi abuelo en el jardín, pero nunca lo encontró. ¡Qué historia! ¿Y tú? ¿Qué anécdota contaste? Yo conté la historia de cuando mi prima satisfizo a todos con su primera torta de piña, aunque se le descompuso un poco la decoración, pero igual fue un éxito. La abuela predijo que ella sería una gran chef, y así fue. ¡Qué gracioso! Recuerdo que una vez tu tía Marta quiso esconder unas galletas que increíblemente cupieron todas en un frasco muy pequeño y tu papá las vio enseguida. Sí, qué risa. Esas historias nos entretuvieron mucho. Mi primo Andrés produjo un video con fotos y otros videos antiguos. Nos trajo muchos recuerdos. ¡Qué lindo! Imagínate que por muchos años mi abuelo guardó un secreto familiar y no nos dijo nada hasta que fuimos mayores. Él siempre mantuvo la intriga. Esos recuerdos son los que nos unen. Recuerdo que mi abuela dispuso que cada año asistiéramos a una misa obligatoria. Todos nos opusimos, por supuesto. ¡Qué risa! ¿Y cómo previnieron ustedes que se armara un caos? Mi mamá, con su carisma, la hizo entender que esa tradición no era para todos y nadie contradijo sus palabras. ¡Qué sabia! Yo supe que mi mamá, cuando era joven, rehizo un vestido para un desfile después de que se le deshizo por accidente y obtuvo el primer premio. ¡Qué increíble! Me encanta mantener vivos esos recuerdos, pues no tienen precio. Totalmente. Bueno, Pablo, me dio mucho gusto recordar estas cosas contigo. A mí también, Silvana. Nos vemos pronto. Ready to put your new knowledge to the test? Create your own sentences with any of the irregular verbs we just saw. Share them in the comments below and I'll be there to give you feedback and help you improve your Spanish skills. Have any Spanish topic you'd like me to cover in a future video? Let me know in the comments. Your ideas help me create videos that are exactly what you are looking for. If you are still confused about when to use the word aunque with indicative or with subjunctive, then I suggest that you watch my video called Aunque, Subjunctive versus Indicative, Master It. It's full of useful tips to master this word and the structures that accompany it and avoid making common mistakes. Click here to watch it and keep rocking your language learning goals.